is our strength. It's only when we respect and make it included by design. And we have so many different communities, different cultures out there, and we just heard multiple languages that have been spoken here. That also means that many people do not speak or understand English very well or Spanish very well. So we need to have plans in different languages available. What good it is to have the resources if somebody's not able to access it or doesn't understand how to do it. So what I understand that our counties needs to have more diverse and more languages. Translation happens on the website. And I've been told if we have more than 1,000 people speaking a certain language, we must provide emergency plan in that language, because one life lost is one too many. And then we need to make sure that we are doing whatever good job we are doing. If it's in English, Spanish, those are two big languages, but we should also look for other languages that we can do. And I believe there's Mandarin out there, there's Hindi, there's Arabic, there's Telugu, there's Gujarati, the whole bunch that is out there. So we need to make sure that we have our emergency plans in multiple languages so people can access it, can understand.
Is that when you look at each other, there is already a built-in community, and it's not for a gloom and doom. You are here today because we already do have hope, and we are going to be encouraging each other and being involved politically as well to make sure that anybody in the office is going to be representative of us and our values. And like Dr. Grace was saying, we also need to be there. You are here right now, you are seen, but we also need to keep amplifying each other's voices. So pat yourself on the back. You are here today and making that and slowly making that change, and we really hope that you are going to share it with your friends and continue to make sure that even within your organizations, you make language access possible. You're taking care of the people that are also in this work, so taking care of mental health that we mentioned, thinking about our future. And I want to ask our panelists a closing, one actionable step that you want to recommend to individuals today moving forward.
Mine would be to vote.
Okay, I just want to echo that, yes. But also, if you're already voting, take it to the next step. Go look into what bills are active, go testify. And also, if you are an entrepreneur or looking to get involved on an organizational level, there are a lot of grants available for you to actually, so look into your county government and your local government and see if there are grants available for you to have your own sustainable initiative.
I think I already mentioned join the organizations, and Caroline's there, and all of this organization. The Houston Climate Movement is the one I'm representing. RISE API is to help Asian Americans to be empowered in politics, and that's not an option. So there are plenty of choices for you to make.
Awesome. I also want to echo voting. Take advantage of early voting while it's happening. We've got a historic amount of AAPI running for office in all different levels and positions, and it's wonderful to see the Chinese Community Center as one of the voting sites, making sure it's accessible as possible, and join a volunteer group, see how you can just try to give back and stand in solidarity with community groups.
If I can add one more thing, is talk to your children. Your kids are those, ambassadors to their peers, but also to families across your neighborhoods.
So when we talk about this environment, us being in community, and then bridging that in how this environment here is going to help us continue to bring awareness into our health. And I'm really hoping that we can just harness the power of arts like the voices tonight to ignite that change, not just actually the environment outside, but even in this environment and your involvement in making a difference. So thank you so much for our panelists. Giving them a round of applause.
Bus stops, things like that. How can we prevent the expansion of highways and concrete? Thank you.
I mean, I think I kind of talked a little bit about that, is that, like, it's got to be not only a governmental change, but a societal change of saying, like, guys, we don't all need ranch-style houses. We don't, not every single person on this planet does not need their own yard and their own separate house. We can live in townhouse complexes. We can live in apartment complexes. We can live in high rises. We can live in all the places. It's just as nice. Especially if people are retired, they don't have their kids with them anymore. You don't need a 5,000 square foot house, right? And the more
a new topic, I think I'm so in sync with what you're saying, because I was a young, naive person when I went to college to do things to help the environment. And I'm an engineer. I thought I was going to design clean cars decades ago, and I found out that nobody was doing that back in the 80s. So I ended up studying air pollution. So I've been an academic studying air pollution and helping poor communities deal with that problem, because it is in our homes, it is in our places of work, it is in our neighborhoods. So it's everywhere where we are. So that's why we have all this, high risk that now we're facing. And now climate change is here. When I was saying 30 years ago, we had this discussion when I was a graduate student about what was coming. We talked about this. My PhD is in environmental engineering, but I was starting as a mechanical engineer. So when I got to environmental, it was the pollution piece that I thought it was more important than following the energy piece, because I thought that was not going to necessarily help people. But now we're on the energy and climate change together. So 30 years plus, we're having these conversations finally. So I'm listening to you. And what I like to say for the young people is, like, this conversation should have taken place, and it was taking place in very small places, hidden from the general public. So many of us have known for a long time that these floods were coming, that diseases were going to increase, the pandemics were going to have, and some of us have been studying, trying to prevent these things from happening, but don't necessarily hear from us. Some of the scientists of color that are doing this work, we do not get airtime. We do not get support. We do not get validation for our work. So you need to be aware.
In Harris County, we know there are challenges in equitable access to disaster relief. What can we do to ensure that disaster relief efforts are inclusive and accessible, and what are you doing to ensure this for all residents regardless of status?
So first of all, I want to thank all of the partner organizations in this room, because that is one of the ways we are able to help advance the ball in terms of equitable access. So thank you to everyone in this room. 2, language access is something we talked about. So when we took office a year and a couple months ago, we transformed our website into 9 languages, which I'm very proud of. We started deep community planning efforts. And by the way, speaking of our beloved Gulfton, I invite you this Saturday, we're having a Burnett Bayland planning session, another one in a stream of ones that we are doing. We're doing it in 6 languages on Saturday. We invite you. We are thinking first on the front end of our parks, green space. We're doing a planning effort to see where those gaps are, where we can add in additional green infrastructure by buying properties, because not only do we have the worst flooding, the worst heat island effect, but also we're the fastest growing. So it's the rapid development that we need to make sure is purposeful. So we're working on these master planning efforts to make sure everything is thoughtful and sustainability is front and center. Almost everybody we've hired in our infrastructure team has an Envision certification, which is very much focused on resiliency and sustainability. So every infrastructure project we do has that in mind. Additionally, at long last, and I'm so thankful the Texas General Land Office is at long last giving Harris County the money after Harvey. So I was super pregnant, about to give birth, thought I was gonna have my baby in the bathtub. She is my visual reminder of how long it's been since Harvey, 6.5 years. And thankfully, between our CDBG, MIT, and DR funds, we are getting, at long last, and we all know the whole novela that has been, at long last, we are getting those funds to put to work for a variety of flood mitigation dollars. Now, Harris County Commissioner's Court
you.